Rev up your engines!
Well, Toyota just got the green light for making all solid-state EV battery plants in Japan. Of course, now they got the okay to build them. From what I've read, and you read under the lines, is they're probably not going to be making these solid-state batteries in electric cars for mass consumption until 2030. Now, of course, we all know what that means. That means you can't believe anything, because Toyota has promised solid-state batteries before. They said they're going to be out in 2021. Then 2022. And now it looks like 2030. So I would not hold my breath on the solid state battery stuff. If anybody built them and they work good, I think it would be Toyota, and Toyota's doing it in conjunction with Panasonic. And Panasonic claims they already have solid state EV car batteries they're building to put in high-end cars that cost a whole bunch of money, the hundreds of thousands of dollars cars, right? Now, whether they can mass produce them and put them in cars that regular people can afford, that's probably another story. And like I said, in the past, Toyota said they were going to have solid-state batteries by 2021. Okay, it's 2024 as of this video, September 2024. They don't have them out yet. Now they're saying, well, 2030, and the Japanese government has okayed us building a factory to build the things. I wouldn't hold my breath on this thing. This is why I tell people, electric cars, just wait. Maybe they'll be really good. 2040, 2050, a long time from now. But guess what? They are not ready for prime time today. And I mean, Toyota's saying, oh, wow, 2021, don't worry, we'll have solid-state batteries. Well, now they're saying 2030, and who knows what's going to happen when 2030 comes along. Now, you might wonder, how can China make electric vehicles that sell for less than $20,000? Now, they give all these excuses like, well, the Chinese government is bankrolling them. Oh, they have cheap labor and la, 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 la. Hey, the United States government's backing EVs too, so that's just an excuse. A lot of it is just an excuse by American manufacturers. Then they say the labor costs are cheaper in China. But they're not even telling the truth there, because most of these Chinese factories, including the BYD that makes the sub $20,000 electric car in China, they don't have that many workers. Most of the workers in the ones that I've read about, the workers are actually engineers. And they have to program the robots, they have to maintain the robots, and they have to repair the robots when they break. So actually their labor isn't that cheap, because the guys that they're hiring are engineers. It's just that they don't have to hire thousands of guys to put stuff together, because the robots are doing it. BYD even has the robots doing batteries now. So that's an excuse that doesn't cut the mustard. Now, see, the thing about the Chinese is a lot of their car factories are spanking brand new factories. American factories, a lot of them are old dinosaurs, right? And they're made for people putting the cars together. Well, the Chinese factories are much more roboticized, building the things. So they can say, oh, well, they got cheap labor in China. That has nothing to do with why they're cheaper. They're newer factories, too. That's how the Japanese, if you want an analogy, the Japanese took over motorcycles. They just took them over decades ago. You had the British, the Americans building old-style motorcycles in factories that were ancient dinosaurs where the machines were wearing out. People wonder, why did those English motorcycles in the 60s and 70s burn a lot of oil? Well, because the machines that were making them were worn out, so the tolerances were bad, so they'd burn oil because the engines weren't made that well, because the machines that made them were old and worn out. Well, compare that to Japan, that we destroyed the country in World War II, and their motorcycle industry started from the ground up, all brand new factories, brand new technologies. Back in the day then, they said, oh, well, nobody can build multi-cylinder motorcycles. You know, you can build 1 or 2 cylinders, but you can't build 4 and 6 cylinders. It cost too much money. You couldn't do it. Well, the Japanese proved no. They could make them cheaply, and they could make them hold up and be bulletproof, because they started from the ground up with new factories, just like the Chinese did. So a lot of these excuses they're throwing out, they aren't true. They're just doing it more efficiently. And they have newer factories. They're using robots instead of people to build them. So, hey, and a lot of this stuff is just excuses by American companies. Well, they got cheap labor. That's why they make stuff so cheap. Ha! That's all I got to say. I mean, Take the Buick SUVs. A bunch of them are made in China, then sold here. They don't pay the import tax because it's GM. GM has factories there, right? Well, their factories there are obviously more efficient than the factories they have in the United States. They're newer, they have more modern technology, and that's the main reason they can build them cheaper. Well, here's a hilarious one. An abandoned Tesla Cybertruck is now a tourist attraction in downtown Seattle. Guys, Tesla Cybertruck got smashed in. It's been sitting there for a while, and people now put it on Facebook and different things, and people come visit, but the owner is not happy. One person posted they walked by it and said, I went by there to look at the Cybertruck. The owner was outside, and he wasn't happy that we were there. He said a kid hit it a few weeks ago, and he's trying to figure out the insurance to get it fixed. He said people have been harassing him and his wife the past few days. He didn't understand why. We told him his truck was all over Reddit, and he got even madder. So we left pretty quickly. Hey, you buy some stupid thing like that for attention, and now you're getting the wrong attention because it's smashed up. I think it's absolutely hilarious. Now, why does it take weeks to figure out insurance? That's just ridiculous, right? Of course, the problem is, he's going to have a heck of a time getting that thing fixed because old Elon, he's building them, but he's not building spare parts for him, so he'll probably be waiting a while to get the stupid thing fixed. So yet another hilarious incident with the Tesla Cybertruck. Hey, if you buy something that attracts attention, don't be surprised when it does attract attention if you don't like it. Well, be leery if you buy some of these auction vehicles that people have, because a man bought a stolen Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat. When it was stolen, it had 49,000 miles. Well, when he went to go pick it up after he bought it at auction, it had 71,000 miles on it. Well, why the discrepancy? Because it was stolen at 49,000 miles. Then some guy was riding around in it for years before he got caught. February 2021, it was stolen from Houston, of all places, an old hometown here. Then it was driven with no title or registration for 3 whole years. It was used as a means of transportation for drugs and a home. Guy lived in it. It was an absolute pigsty inside, they said. When he went to pick it up, he found clothes, shoes, receipts, medication, cigarette butts, toothbrush, and deodorant. But he did find receipts for an oil change and a coolant flush. So the guy took care of it who stole it. But let me warn you something. I've had customers that bought some of these ex-drug cars that were used for transporting drugs, and they got a sticker on it that says, warning, if you get stopped by the police and there's drugs found in this car, you're responsible because you own it now. So I'd be kind of leery about whether I would do that. Now, this guy said he was going to pay drug dogs to go and smell it to see if they can find anything and take them out. But then he decided to do something else. So, hey, good luck, buddy. If they find drugs on it, you're the one who's going to go to jail. Realize, you buy one of these things, hey, even those boats that they get from drug people even says, this was transporting drugs, you buy it, you're responsible for it. So maybe not a good idea to buy one of those things at an auction. Well, you saw that Boeing Starliner thing finally landed down to Earth without the astronauts, right? I mean, this is a total disaster for Boeing. They should just give up with trying to build space stuff. They have a hard enough time building airplanes, right? Now, it did land, but the agency admitted that a new thruster failed when it was descending. And it also had a temporary blackout of their guidance system while they were re-entering. Good thing they didn't have the astronauts inside it. You know? I mean, this is a total PR disaster for Boeing. Now these guys are going to have to wait in space until February, hopefully, that they can get a ride back to Earth. So, it made it down to Earth, sans astronauts, no people in it. And if the thruster failed, probably was a relatively rough landing. Probably a good idea that people weren't in it. Maybe it'd be a good idea to just cancel the whole Starliner project because obviously they have no idea what they're doing. Well, the Chinese have now built the world's largest wind turbine, and believe it or not, it is 500,000 square feet, the area that's spinning around. Now they say it can produce 20 megawatts of electricity. The rotor diameter is 958 feet. That is almost 1,000 feet. That is gigantic. The whole area that swings around in it is the size of 9 football fields. So it can do 16,000 average homes. Not that many considering this gigantic thing and what it must cost to build, right? Now they claim that it's got an anti-typhoon system so that even a typhoon isn't going to blow it over. We'll find out when a typhoon finally comes over, but nobody's mentioned the cost to provide power to 16,000 homes because that's not that many homes. For example, if you wanted to generate the power for just the homes in the United States, you would need 9,000 of these gigantic turbines at cost that people aren't saying. How long are they going to last? They only work when the wind is blowing. If it blows too fast, it doesn't work. If it blows too slow, it doesn't work. So, I mean, they keep pushing this stuff. I personally don't understand. It's something that big, and all it does is that small amount of houses. And of course, they're not even talking about the insane power that industry uses. You know, they never give you any of the real factors. In the article I read about this gigantic windmill, right? Oh, it makes all these megawatts of power, right? And you find out it doesn't do that many homes at all. It's the largest one, big deal. It still doesn't create that much electricity. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.